We're in the Tillamook State Forest in Oregon, home of the ice cream. So I'm hoping to find some ice cream on this summit. We are going to do a loop and we are going to summit Kings Mountain and Elk Mountain. And it's about 10.4 miles with 37 or so 100 feet of elevation gain. I've had some good reviews from friends of friends about this, saying it's very difficult, and some of the comments too, but by the stats it doesn't seem that difficult. So we're going to try to bang this out in 2.5 hours maybe. Hike at your own risk. This is rated difficult year-round, so let's go. I think in these first 2.5 miles we go up like 3,000 feet, so I think the hard part's going to be the first part to get up to Kings, which is the higher peak, and then I think there's going to be a bit of an up and down between the peaks, but then eventually there'll be a very steep down, and then we'll have some flatter last couple miles to get back. So far just typical Pacific Northwest forest hiking, where the undergrowth is a lot of ferns. Feel like you don't see that in other parts of the country, but it's nice because we're in the shade. So we're just headed, I don't know, somewhere up. Eventually we gain a ridge and bang a right, and then take that ridge to the summit of Kings Peak. I just took a peek at the map. This is that right turn that I said was on the ridge. So this is gonna, we just keep following this up. We just still have a lot to go. We've come up maybe 2/3 of the way to Kings, but I know it's hard to tell in the video, but there's some definitely steep, I mean, this is 1,700 feet a mile, so you know, you're not moving that fast up terrain that's this steep, but there are some trail segments that flatten out occasionally to give you a little respite from the climbing. Well, for the first time, the scenery has changed. Maybe I should have put on sunscreen. This makes sense as we're getting higher. I was hopeful you get a little more barren, but it's real smoky, which sucks, or foggy, or I don't know if it's smoke or fog. And we're basically on the summit. Right, well, now we're dropping a couple steps. Kings Mountain, not Kings Peak, my fault. Kings Mountain summit, 32:26. That was under an hour up, about 54 minutes. Yeah, now we get to ridge, go up and down, and eventually bend around and hit Elks, which I think is pretty far away, probably like 3-4 miles at least. So according to that sign, we're 2.5 up. Well, we were on the ridge briefly, had a little up, down and up, and now we've been on these little tight switchbacks. I already have had multiple ticks on my arm, so I'm having to pay attention. I'm gonna have to check thoroughly later. I guess there's ticks all on these bushes and vegetation, which is not that great. Of course, I have shorts and t-shirt because it's hot, and I'm soaked. My shirt is completely saturated and the shorts are getting there. So that's what humidity will do to you. So anyway, you can see it's pretty steep down, at least right now. At some point that will change. Well, look what we have here. We have a fixed rope. I was not expecting to see a fixed rope here, but I guess that's cool. Yeah, definitely like all these little steep up and downs since we've passed the summit of Kings Mountain. This rope isn't needed, but there's just like all these roots that are like real exposed and all right, we're up the rope section where the rope is not needed, but that's cool. There's a rope there. You can see it's just all these little steep ups, steep downs. I think we're returning to the ridge, maybe. We've been skirting around a rock formation on the left side. But yeah, it's little. They're like 50 feet up and downs, but they're incredibly steep. And the ups are fine, the downs sort of suck. Well, we returned to the ridge and now we're bouncing over the other side. So cool view east, but just, you know, smoky, hazy forest. Exactly what you would expect it to look like out here. So no real legit views. I thought maybe we could see the ocean when we looked west, but alas, no. But still, I guess cool views nonetheless. Hit another high point on the ridge, and now we're dropping again. Whew. All right, so we've hit our Elk Mountain Trail junction, 2 miles to Elk Mountain summit. So this is sort of the back end of the circle that we're making. 3.5 to Elk Creek Campground, but then I think once we get down to Elk Creek Campground, we still got like 3 or something flatter back to the car. So we're 1.3 down from the summit, according to this. Sounds about right. So this is about the nicest the trail's been the entire time. We were just gradually going uphill to that sign. So jogging, but slow. But now it's like a very gradual down. But I think we're gonna have ups and downs again. Got some views here of, I don't know if that was a fire that wiped that all out or they logged all that. Maybe it's logging terrain. So that is, I think that's Kings, where we just were. We just wrapped around. So we come across this. That'd be cool if there was like a big line. So we're getting closer to Elk Mountain, but I think we still got a while. So maybe there's some other peaks on this ridge, but we're on this, we're definitely on a ridge right now. And it's like this sort of old growth rainforest looking terrain. So yeah, so we're just gonna keep up and down, up and down, up and down. So now we gotta drop, you know, 50 feet and then back up. So it's up, it's back to the nice steep ups and downs. At least this one sort of has some rock steps. Well, I think we're on the slopes of Elk Mountain, but not totally sure. And it's gotten pretty rocky and steppy, which is good. So we're biting off vert pretty quickly here. But yeah, it's definitely steep here. And we got more. So I think we're getting close to the summit. And I should have kept it recording, because right up that little 10-second section, here's our summit. Elk Mountain summit. Let's get our view here. Woo! So that's gonna be Kings across the way. And you can see the road, yippee, but we're gonna have to bomb down, I don't know, 2,500 feet maybe. And then we have basically paralleling the road back to the car for, well, we are on the steep descent. It's been very steppy and slow going and loose, but sometimes rocky and steppy. But we can hear traffic. Unfortunately, we're just gonna hit the road, not close to the car. So we're gonna have to bang a right when we get to the low point and cut over for what I think is about 3 miles. So you can see, I don't know if you saw, you can see the road right there. So I think we've hit this bottom junction. Elk Mountain summit. This is funny, steep AF. I mean, it's steep, but I wouldn't say it's steep AF. So I believe we're banging a left here. I'll check the map, but I think we got like 3 miles left to the car, and it's probably pretty rolling and somewhat flat. Well, we found a bridge. Check the map here. Be easy enough to rock hop across this, right now at least, but maybe not all the time. And we are back 3 hours, 10 minutes. So that's like 19-minute miles on average. There's a lot of terrain. You can only move fast like the last 3. So yeah, we're back. Elk Mountain, or Kings Mountain and Elk Mountain. Good little loop, a lot of steep terrain, not very runnable aside from the end, but good workout if you're in the Portland area. So that's a wrap. More to come in the Northwest.